Welcome to this event on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, those of you who are joining us live. For those of you watching the recording, you missed an amazing event here at Cranfield University. That's where we're based today. I'm here with Ahmed. Ahmed, just introduce yourself very briefly. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yes, I'm Dr. Ahmed Lashab, reader in Lean Product Development, part of the manufacturing team Cranfield University. I'm the course director of MSc in Global Product Development and Management.
Brilliant, Ahmed, thank you. We're going to be talking to Ahmed a bit later on. You join us, it is in what is essentially a celebration of the end of a series of master's programs, and you'll see the master's programs we're talking about here at Cranfield, scrolling across the screen in a minute. But the students that you're going to be seeing later on in this session, and we should be no more than 30 minutes here, have just finished their exams. So if you see levity in the air, smiles, and energy, then it's because they've just finished their master's programs in manufacturing, principally manufacturing here at Cranfield University. So bear that in mind. And if you've just tuned in, you're watching live Cranfield University's exhibition in Masters or Research and Materials and Manufacturing. That's the event. I'm looking at a brochure here. So Ahmed, can you tell us more about the programs that are being talked about on these posters?
Yeah. MSc programs in manufacturing themes has got three elements. The thought element, that is from October to end of January, where they take the different modules, usually 8 modules. Of course, some courses they have more specialized modules. Then we have the MSc group project, that is from 1st of February to the end of April. What we are celebrating today is the end of the individual MSc thesis projects. And this is take us from the 1st of May until the 30th of August. And this week, as you say, it was the oral exams. And today is the show of their poster, the standing, the visitor from the industry, academic, and families. They come to see the success of their students.
So the families are here as well?
Some of them.
Wow.
I've seen some of them,
And
yes.
sponsors, you mentioned sponsors.
Yes, some of the industrial sponsors. We have a big number of students. It's difficult to get all the sponsors, but we have more than 50 projects being sponsored by the industry, which is, I guess, the director of manufacturing team, Mark Jolie, mentioned them, or of course mentioned some of them.
Wow.
Yes, interesting.
So this is quite something. This is an end. This is a culmination of a year's worth of highly practical study by the sound of it. This
Yes,
is
it
not
is.
theoretical purely.
Yes, actually, our MSc students, they spend about 60% of their time interacting with the industry. And that's what makes our courses completely different from any other education institute, because of this link and interaction with the industry. Even those who are not sponsored by the company, of course, they have another one which is like sort of an internship where the students spend their project in the company and they cover all their expenses. That's another type of sponsorship. And the others who are not directly sponsored, but they interact with the industry through field study, case studies, and what they call it, we get from them like expert evaluation of the work of the students.
Wow. If you're just tuned in, you're joining us at Cranfield University Live, and if you're watching the recording, you missed an amazing event. Tell us more about where students normally go to. Once they've finished here at Cranfield, which is almost the last day today, what do they normally do after that?
Well, depends about the students. Of course, the part-time students, obviously, they are carry on their work with their companies. Some of the students who they are in the double degree, so some of them, they need to go back to their actual university, wherever they are in Europe, in order to finish the last part of their study. And the others is basically either they already got a job, which several of them, at least my students, all of them, they got a job, believe it or not.
All of them?
Which is all of them.
Wow.
And that's really good. And others, they are really working hard to get a certain job. And others, they actually carry on PhD research, which is interesting. It's interesting.
And the PhD, how is that different from what they've been studying so far in the Masters?
Well, the Master, you got the taught model, so they go to the classroom and they take the class and they do assignment and exams. And research, PhD research, is where they do independent research. And of course, again, the same thing, research of PhDs take 3 years. If it's engineering doctorate, it will be 4 years. And they have to interact with the industry heavily throughout the research, which is another interesting part. Maybe when we're going to have the show related to the research, which is actually next year, 9th of September, that maybe we could talk about the more details.
Wow.
So let us celebrate our MSc students now.
So we're going to be seeing a few students very shortly, but in terms of your expertise and what you tutor in that, say a bit more about what you're providing, what you teach.
In teaching or in the research now?
Well, and both.
Well,
in both.
well, the things you see, it depends about the program. So let me talk about the program that I'm responsible. It's MSc in Global Product Development and Management. So we teach them everything they need in order to develop a product that is address the need of the customer and the market. This is better product, cheaper in production, and faster in delivery to the market. And we teach them all aspects they need in the aspect of material selection, the different tool and method, the strategy, of course, the general management aspect, the simulation and what they need to do in order to simulate the actual activity within the production area. And of course, the aspect that you help us to coordinate related to design thinking, lean startup, and stuff like that. So all of that's the tool and method, whatever they need in order to be fit, in order to develop a product. No matter what's the product. It could be an aerospace,
Anything.
Automotive, medical, and so on.
Absolutely any product.
Anything. And that's the things. Our course is rich with so many examples from different industry. So I have cases with Jaguar Land Rover, I have cases from Airbus, from Rolls-Royce,
Wow.
cases from oil and gas industry, Caltech, and so on.
So we're going to go live now to one of the students or several of the students in the arena. So have in mind that material, manufacturing, and practical application.
Yes.
Hopefully we're joined by Fan. Fan is in the room that you can just see behind us towards one side, and you get a pretty good view there of the melee. There's about 153 students in 2 rooms here. This is one of the rooms that you're seeing with us. Fan, I understand you're in there somewhere. Let's see if I can see Fan. I think he's with, he's with Alessandra. Alessandra, so welcome. Fan, tell us more about Alessandra, what Alessandra's doing. We just have an issue with the audio there, so apologies for that. We'll come back to you, Fan, if you can hear, we'll come back to you very shortly. Alessandra is one of the students, I think, on the master's programs in manufacturing.
Yeah.
So let's find out.
Yeah, I see her. She's doing work related to manufacturing strategy.
And you were tutoring Alessandra?
No, I've seen her. She took some of the classes, but now she's with Professor Harris. And interesting research she's doing is sponsored by a company who make vaccine. And the idea is to make a manufacturing strategy in the way that the vaccine will produce in low cost.
So a medical vaccine?
Yes, medical vaccine. And intentionally for those who are, like us, in developing country where they do not have these type of facilities, the idea how will be able to do manufacturing strategy, they will make the production flexible, quick, in order to address whatever health problem they going to encounter in those countries.
So can I assume that Alessandra is in the medical arena? Is she working for an aid agency?
Well, the product it's related to health, but actually she's manufacturing enterprise. They produce the vaccine, so we look at it as really manufacturing enterprise.
It's a product.
It's a product,
like any
yes.
other product.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's a health product.
Gosh, and how did you help Alessandra in this?
Well, the one thing that you asked me previously is all the students, they take, if you want, in the TOT model, whatever is needed for them to apply it in their group project and thesis project. So we covered the manufacturing strategy in different course. Dr. Patrick McLough, who actually covered this aspect. And then basically they, if you want, the theory, whatever they learn in the classes, they managed to apply at least part of it in their group project and thesis project. In her case, of course, the title, very obvious, is synthetic RNA vaccine, a manufacturing strategy.
Synthetic, gosh. So that's something that's unique to Cranfield, is in terms of that industry facingness.
Yes.
You mentioned previous or other universities, master's degrees, not quite so pragmatic or real world facing.
No, you'll be more theory really, and they do, for example, CAD modeling simulation, going to the library where our students, they actually base in the company.
Right.
So this students is based in the company in order to her work. So basically whatever output is not only has got value in academic point of view, rather than value for the industry who actually sponsor the project, and that is a great thing.
Wow. Okay, I'm not sure if we can go back to Fan. Oh no, we can't go back to Fan because unfortunately.
But I could talk to you to other students of mine.
So is it Chelsea?
Chelsea, yes.
Okay, tell us about Chelsea. And hopefully we can get back to Chelsea
yeah,
very
maybe
shortly.
it will be good. Basically is, you know, industry, they do their work in traditional manner, basically based on the labor. And now with the advanced enabling technology, Industry 4.0, we're talking about having sensor to have Internet of the Things, smart product, having the data to be collected from all the sensor and to be analyzed in a manner that will be quickly and effective and accurate. And then we use all the aspect related to the automation. So what will happen is, what we want to do is, we have transformation in the train service. Every single train, at the end of the day, they need to go to a teapot, and then they go to do they receive different services. Inside service to clean and so on, and the outside service is to provide fuel, water, sand, oil, and discharge the waste.
So if you've been on a journey and you're wondering where your train goes to sleep at night, then this is what happens at night. It gets cleaned, it gets serviced, it gets looked after.
Every single train, even if it's underground. So what's happening is, all what I was telling you is done manually now. And what we want to do is having the use of advanced Industry 4.0 in the aspect of the sensor localization, data analytics, cloud computing, and of course the robotic element of it. So we have digitalization to enable automation of actually all these services.
So robotic refueling, robotic cleaning.
Exactly. Start with the cleaning, the front cap and the end cap, then the robot. That is the vision, if you want. So we want the robot will come and we have different end effector suitable for all this, what they call it service point. So there is one for the filling up the fuel, one filling up the water. Of course, there is different type of waters for catering, for drinking, and for the washing.
So is this hypothetical, or is it actually happening now?
Well, there is some research going on in different parts of the world. They have a level of success in doing that. And the study of Chelsea is looking about how these enabling technology, specific digitalization, that could be employed in integrated form. Because we have individual solutions that will be able to help you to do specific things. But put them together to provide this integrated solution to a train that is not hasn't been realized yet, and research like Chelsea and others is moving toward the actually full integrated system in digitalizing and provide the automation of train services.
Does that mean then that Chelsea's moving into the train industry? Can she only apply it to that industry? Or like you've pretty much said before, it's any product, any service?
Well, of course, the integrated system will be in this case for the train industry. And all the operator of depots, we have more than, I can't remember the number to me, is it 60 or 120 to be honest, in the United Kingdom alone. And each depot, they serve about 4 to 6 different type of trains.
Right,
every night. You can imagine, every
night,
night,
every week, every day
and night. Okay, that's what it works.
Wow.
Because you cannot have a train without a fuel, for example.
Of course.
So the idea is the integrated solution will be useful for this specific train industry, but the idea could be applied for something else. Of course, not the exact system to be employed somewhere else, no. But the idea could be employed later on. Maybe we have, for example, washing the car. Why not?
Hey, I never get around to washing my car. Maybe you don't too either. Those of you just joining and just tuned into the live event, we're here at Cranfield University, if it wasn't obvious. And we're here at the Master's Thesis exhibition. If you can see movement around behind us, it's because we're live. We're live with 2 rooms here where there are projects being presented, and the students are standing in front of their posters, defending their theses, their posters. And this morning and yesterday, every student that you see was involved in an exam. And was it a 10-minute oral presentation?
Altogether will take between 15 to 20 minutes.
And were you part of the examining?
Yesterday I examined about 8 or 9 of them.
And
yes.
are you hard or are you easy?
I was fair.
You were fair.
I was fair.
And they're answering questions about why that project,
I mean,
the consequences of the project?
The element for the thesis will be this presentation, the poster today, and the actual report.
Right.
So we give them that basically the time of 10 minutes where they present the work in a visual manner,
right?
And then we'll have the session question and answers in order for them to defend their work.
Wow, I think
this is an interesting thing.
I think we're going to go live now to, I think it was Alessandra. Sorry about that audio issue earlier on. Hopefully, Fan, you can hear us. And Alessandra is available to answer any questions. There's that floor again, that image.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Fan. Go ahead, please.
Okay, perfect. Right. Well, it's a long wait for us to be able to get on site. But what I'm interested is to find out a little bit, maybe Alessandra can tell us, what did you do before you joined Cranfield?
Actually, I was a master student in Italy, but I decided to move to UK, and thanks to the double degree opportunity that Cranfield offered to Polytechnic of Bari in Italy, where I come from, I decided that was the greatest idea. Thanks to the feedbacks that other mates from my university gave me about Cranfield, I decided to apply, and luckily I had the chance to be here and spend my whole year in Cranfield University. And in fact, according to what you said before, I got a job as well, and it's been really interesting because all the Cranfield students are considered to be really, really skilled.
Very good. Comparing with your learning experience in Italy and Cranfield, what do you think are the major differences?
Well, in Italy it's well known to learn more theory, but without any kind of application to the theory to the practice. And here in Cranfield I had the chance to study really deep case studies that apply to industries, and I had the chance to learn better. Also thanks to the group project, we had the experience to really face which are the difficulties in a company, and I think I couldn't have get these opportunities in Italy, and I'm really happy for the result, actually.
Well, that is very good. So if we kind of take you to think back about last year, what would stand out most in your mind in this year in Cranfield?
Sorry, can you repeat?
In terms of your year in Cranfield, what stand out most in your mind as something that you remember when you finish here now?
First of all, I have to mention my friends, because I had the chance to create a really big family that we love to call it Cranfield family, and I'm sure we are all going to keep the relationship. And it has been really a nice experience also because with these friends I had the chance to be in the group project outside Cranfield in a company, and it has been really great to create a great teamwork, and had the chance to face and create liaison between the academy world to the working environment. And so I will keep all these memories for me, and it has been really exciting.
Oh, thank you very much. So if somebody else is coming from Italy, what kind of advice will you give them?
Well, first of all, if they don't know the language, I think the first step is to learn it, and I would suggest them to not be so much worried, because the first month will help a lot to learn English, even if at the beginning you don't feel confident talking. But the other thing is that I would suggest to my Italian friends to do an experience like this, because it helps a lot opening your mind and especially increase your horizons, like not always keeping your mind focused on something that lets you feel in your comfort zone.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. So I expect to see you in graduation and then some other time in Cranfield then.
Sure. Yes, thank you. It has been amazing.
Thank you very much. We will go and talk to some other of our friends. So have a good day. I'll see you later in the barbecue.
Thank you. Bye.
Fan, thank you very much. Fan's just mentioned there that there's a barbecue. I'm afraid you're not invited to the barbecue. It's a live barbecue. If you're watching the recording, you'll have missed it by months. We're treating the students tonight to a celebration. This is a celebration. It's a capstone event here at Cranfield University, and you're joining us live in that capstone university. Ahmed, in terms of that poster, what are they going to do with that poster? Is that something that belongs to the sponsoring organization? Is that Cranfield's property? Is that the students' property?
So no, it depends about the company. Some of the companies want to keep it, and they put it actually in the wall, and they show the research they've done and the collaboration they have done with the Cranfield University. Others, member staff, they want it because they want to follow up for the work, and they put it on the wall in the different offices. And others, we ask the students to keep it for them, and a lot of students, they like to keep it. For example, I am supervising 8 students. They are part-time students. They work in the industry,
right?
And they do their part-time study here for 2-3 years, usually 2 years.
So their partner organizations, their parent organizations are paying for them to do the master's
exactly.
degree.
So they actually keep their poster and they put it behind their office.
As a memory.
Yeah, a memory, and as well to show them the good work they did, because all their project is industrial-based projects. And that's good. In my case, most of the project related to product development, which is the area you helped me to present it to other colleagues in through the video classes, the application of lean thinking, product design development. So that's what they do with the posters.
Fantastic. It's great hearing Alessandra talking about her friends, because you come here and you get an instant bunch of
Yes.
friends, people that you will be there with you forever thereafter, and they follow you through the, I guess it's fair to say, troughs and peaks.
Usually
Usually peaks, usually peaks, but I guess master
I always
study.
try to be positive, yeah.
But master study is not straightforward. It's
No,
quite
it's hard work. It's hard work. That's why it's a celebration, as you keep mentioning it. It's a celebration because they deserve it, really. They work hard in the all aspect, you know, through the exams and the assignment and the group project, and now individual thesis. Why we call it individual thesis project? Because there is element of research. So it's equivalent as you are doing a PhD research. When they actually analyze the problem, they do the literature review of it, find what is the research gap, and they work in research methodology in order to put a solution forward and prove this solution is a practical and useful for those industries.
So they could go on to do a PhD based on the research they've done in the master's program.
And we have several cases like this.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Hopefully we can go back to Fan, who's found someone else to talk to, and hopefully our audio is working fine. Fan, let me see if I can see you from that screen there. I can see the camera. Fan, who have you got there in front of you?
Well, this time I have Eduardo with me, so let us find out where did you come from before you start your journey in Cranfield?
I come from Madrid, in Spain, in the University of Polytechnica de Madrid, and I was doing my master's degree here, and then I come to Cranfield University.
Interesting. So Madrid is quite a different place from Cranfield, and we may or may not like to see you on the football field.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's completely different, the kind of university that I was used to be compared with Cranfield University here. I have the opportunity to live in an international environment, and it's quite good, the opportunity that I have here.
So that is very good. You have something that looks very interesting on the table. Can you spend maybe a minute or two to explain what they are, what you have done with them, what are the things that make them interesting? I'll let you hold the mic.
Yeah,
It's easy.
I think you have the opportunity to talk with Alessandra.
Uh-huh.
We are in the same research team here in Cranfield University, the vaccine manufacturing, future vaccine manufacturing research team. Alessandra was focused on development strategy for these vaccines based on synthetic RNA, and my work was to develop this device, that this low-cost device and portable, to contribute to this manufacturing strategy that Alessandra was proposing based on a factory in a box. So my aim, my work, was to develop this device and make it affordable as the objective of this research that we are doing.
So that sounds seriously interesting. Is it hard? Or do you have to do a lot of learning by yourself, or are the things made easy for you by your supervisors?
Well, as all the good projects, I started with a literature review phase in which I have to see what is the world doing. But I also have a lot of support from my supervisor, Professor Harris Macastoris, who was an expert on this field. So every time that I need to make some kind of designs or asking a question, I managed to have a good feedback from him and useful feedback to finally manage to have this device that you are looking at in my table.
Very good, thank you. So this is now the end of your year in Cranfield. Where are you going to next?
Well, I have the opportunity to continue working here in the UK. And I think it's a great opportunity that I managed to have because of the background that Cranfield University has given to me. I have the opportunity to learn a lot from different professors and experts in the industry that give me a lot of ideas or help me to get this kind of job and to manage to have it.
Well, excellent. So you have a good kind of next step that is planned. So similar to Alessandra, if I ask you to think about one or two things that stick in your mind around your year in Cranfield, what would they be?
To be honest, the best thing that I get from Cranfield is this international environment that I have the opportunity to work with, because I move a little bit from my previous background in my university with people that maybe think in the same way that I do. And I think that having these kind of skills to manage to work with people from different cultures or different, even different ways of things, gives you a lot of support on how you can also access to more people, and in the last point, to the needs of the people that in the industry will we work with, they try to solve the problems of this and the needs of the people.
That's great. We've spent quite a bit of time talking about the studies and so on. In the mind of a lot of people who may know just a little bit about Cranfield, they may think Cranfield is in the middle of nowhere, life is very boring. Is that your experience, or do you have something else to say?
No, to be honest, no. It may seem that Cranfield is in the middle of nowhere, but there is a lot of activities, a lot of sports that you can do here. You can even go to the CSA. They made a lot of activities in the Wednesday nights, Tuesday night, like open mic, karaoke night. There's a lot of sports team. I myself was playing basketball with a lot of different people, and we have there's a lot of great facilities here that makes you realize that you are not living in the middle of nowhere, and you have a lot of things to do here.
Well, excellent. That is great. So thank you very much for spending some time with us. So I look forward to see you in the barbecue and the graduation a little bit kind of later next year. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
Fan, thank you very much indeed. It's amazing to think that we're talking to a basketball player there live. And the CSA, if you heard mention of CSA there, that's Cranfield Student Association. So if you're very keen in joining us at Cranfield, and I hope you are, then Cranfield Student Association is where it's at. And you heard the Wednesday karaoke night. That's great to hear. I was about to ask Eduardo there what it's like in the evenings here at Cranfield, because we are in a fairly rural position. But as you can see, just from looking at that room, I think we have 30-something countries in terms of an international representation from around the world. So you come to Cranfield and you will meet a lot of people. In terms of Eduardo's project, were you involved in Eduardo's project there?
No, not really. It's a big project really already going on that Professor Harris is the principal investigator in collaboration with other universities, and it seems he's using MSc students to support actually the knowledge development of this area about vaccine manufacturing.
Okay. Fan, hopefully you're stood next to Chelsea, and I think Chelsea is going to be the last person that we go to whilst we have this session. So I think Chelsea was stood next to Eduardo. Fan, are you next to Chelsea there? Just let us know.
Yes, we are next to Chelsea and her poster. I think Matt will show a picture of the poster to let you know that this time we are not looking at vaccine, we are looking at trains and robots. Right, okay. So, Chelsea, tell us a little bit about what did you do before you come to Cranfield?
Before I came to Cranfield, I had completed my undergraduate degree in electronics and communication engineering. So I have a bit of background in electronics and telecommunication systems. I completed my degree from India, and then I came here to do my master's.
Very good. So how did you find this year? Because you're now kind of finishing the year, and I suppose undergraduate, Cranfield, two fairly different things.
Masters is a huge task. The year was a little bit challenging, but I got to learn so many new things here at Cranfield. I'm very happy that I chose Cranfield as my university for my master's.
So in the project that you're doing, you're showing a train on your poster. Perhaps you can tell us one or two things that you think the rest of the world need to know about your work.
My work is mainly based on Industry 4.0 enablers to automate train services. So currently, as Dr. Ahmed had earlier mentioned, all of the tasks are done manually, and it's a laborious task. So we're looking to use robots to complete those tasks, to save time and to give these other laborers some more better work, which they can grow and have bigger scope in.
So I think similar to the other people that I interviewed, if you need to remember one or two things that Cranfield is going to leave on your mind as special, what would they be?
Cranfield is definitely the place where I learned to be confident because of the exposure and the amount of presentations that I've given here at Cranfield. So that's really something that has stayed on my mind. And moreover, I've made a lot of good friends here, and there's such a huge international community. So it's really nice to meet people from different backgrounds.
So, are there any situations that you feel you're challenged? Do you think you find the help that you need in order to take you through those challenges?
Yes, of course. There's so many friends here who are ready to help me, and there's also the student academic support team. They're always there at hand to help us with any issues or troubles that we have.
So, how do you find the academics? Now that you have passed, you can tell the truth.
Academics is a bit stressful, but now that I'm done with my masters, it is a bit of a break for now. But I'm not saying no to coming back into academics again.
Chelsea, you're very
good.
polite.
So, what next for you then in your career? Do you have some
job in
jobs
Ericsson.
or some plan that you go to next?
Yes, I do have a job offer. It's from Ericsson, and I'll be working over there starting mid-September as a graduate engineer.
Well, that sounds great. So it seems this year had been very useful to you as well. So I look forward to see you later in the barbecue and then graduation next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So
Fun and
Toby,
Chelsea,
I think I'll
thank
pass
you.
over to you for now, and then we'll roll around and see if we grab any other people that we want to talk to. If we do, then I'll give you a signal. But meanwhile, I'll let you manage the time and see where we go from here.
Okay, Fan, thank you very much indeed. I think we're going to be running out of time, Fan, unfortunately. We'd like to go through most of those posters, but sadly we can't. It's great hearing Chelsea say that she's challenged and she has lots of presentations, not least of which here is live on YouTube. If you're watching the recording, please get yourself to Cranfield University, where, as you've just heard there from Chelsea, there's some amazing things going on. Making friends, learning things, and, as we heard at the end there, getting a job. You can see on the screen at the moment the MSCs that we're looking at in terms of manufacturing alone. There are plenty more MSc programs here at Cranfield University. I'd urge you to find the website, and coming up at the end of that scrolling text there'll be an email address. Please contact us on that email address if you have any queries whatsoever about any of the courses that you see on the screen. I think it leaves me now just to thank Alessandra, Eduardo and Chelsea for their time and their permission to meet them on this exciting and frankly celebratory day at the end of their master's career here at Cranfield. Ahmed, thank you very much indeed for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at Cranfield sometime in the not distant future. Thank you very much indeed for your time, and see you soon.